Today we are looking at the best US cities for people who love to be outdoors. You know who you are. You like to sit in parks and read, go kayaking, hike, pick up basketball, softball leagues, fish, pickleball, and so many other things. Parks are becoming a major driver for people moving to other cities. When I was a kid in the 1970s, not so much. That was where you went to have a good time with your friends and avoid dirty old men that hung out in parks. These days, people like to use the parks for their intended purpose. And of course, setting up a tent if you're homeless. In this video, we are looking at some of the most popular US cities that are known for having the best outdoor places and things to do. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look. Number 10, Anchorage, Alaska. How could you not have a list like this without having Anchorage? Anchorage is where you go if you think the Rockies are cute, but you need something a bit more. You know, hardcore. Chugach State Park is real close, and it offers some truly wild wilderness. Think bears, moose, and trails that don't apologize for being extreme. Now, Chugach, that's the name of the state park. That really sounds like an insult you'd hear on, a mafia movie. Hey, Chugach! But here you've got hiking, skiing, dog mushing, and glacier cruising on the regular. And if you're not up for any of that, you can just stand outside and stare at the northern lights like everyone else. But seriously, outdoor activities in Anchorage aren't for the faint of heart, or for anyone who minds the occasional bear encounter. Always take bear spray and your health insurance card. Anchorage, Alaska has over 220 parks with easy access to Chugach State Park. Number 9, Honolulu, Hawaii. Honolulu is like a paradise, but with extra sunscreen. Known for its lush parks, towering volcanic craters, and beaches that look like they were photoshopped. It's an outdoor playground where hiking usually means trekking up a volcano. If you could tear yourself away from the beach, there's Diamond Head and of course Manoa Falls for breathtaking views. My suggestion for that hike is to film a little bit with like a GoPro or like what I use, a DJI Action 5. I use that and the DJI Pocket 3. When you're hiking or you're walking up a path, it's perfect. It looks like you're floating. It's great. I'll leave a link for those in the description area. But in Honolulu, there's hiking, snorkeling, surfing. Locals are always, kind of mellow, unless you start saying stupid stuff. I mean, you sort of have to be nice when you have year-round access to paradise and pineapples. If you're not up for hiking or biking, there's like electric bike companies that will rent you the bike or take you on a scenic tour up to Diamond Head. It's a lot easier, especially if you've got some mobility issues. And if you're like my wife who constantly watches cop shows, you can always take the Hawaii 5-0 TV tour lunch thing. It's a tour. It's pretty fun. Honolulu has about 200 parks and endless beaches. Number 8, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yes, Minneapolis gets cold enough to scare away most sane people, but for those who stick around, it's a nature lover's haven, even if you do need to go into nature with thermal underwear on almost half the year. The chain of lakes offers everything from canoeing to paddleboarding in the summer, and then ice skating to cross-country skiing in the winter. And yes, you can fish year-round because Minnesotans don't mess around. They'll drill a hole in the ice and start fishing. With more parks than you could shake an ice scraper at, Minneapolis lets you hike, bike, and kayak in the warmest months, while winter means swapping those for snowshoes and ice skates. This city takes its outdoor recreation seriously. If you're not into lakes or trails, you'll probably be one of the few folks hiding indoors. Minneapolis has over 180 parks, including the Minneapolis Chain of Lakes Regional Park, where you can do archery, there's a bandstand thing there, there's beaches, bike paths, boat dock, cross-country skiing trails, decorative fountains, fishing pier, grills, a hockey rink, an ice rink, volleyball courts, tennis courts, softball fields, a water pump, and a well. If you can't find something fun to do here, you're not trying. Number 7, San Diego, California. San Diego's like that laid-back cousin who is constantly outside, always at the beach, and probably too tan. Balboa Park alone has over 1,000 acres of green space, including hiking trails, gardens, and because this is San Diego, a freaking zoo. This is probably my favorite zoo in the world. I've been there like 3 times when I was a kid, and as an adult, I think I've been there an additional 3 or 4 times. I grew up in Los Angeles. They're supposed to have a pretty good zoo, but I'd go all the way down to San Diego to see theirs. Angeles. The Los Angeles Zoo isn't that bad, it's just nothing compared to San Diego. But in that area, right there with the San Diego Zoo, you've got all kinds of museums. They've even got a cactus garden. And since it's Southern California, you know they got a golf course. My personal favorite beach just to hang out in this area, probably La Jolla, but Coronado Beach is my favorite, I think. Occasionally you get Navy fighter jets flying overhead as they land at the Naval Air Station there. If you want to surf, my absolute favorite place to surf in the United States is Trestles, which is right up the coast from San Diego. Even though it's rough to walk out of there because it's all rocks, it's not sand where the surf comes in, it's still a pretty good place to surf. But yeah, San Diego has over 340 parks, including Balboa Park. Number 6, Asheville, North Carolina. Now, Asheville's not going to have as many parks as a lot of the other places on this list, but they got something that puts them in there. Asheville is where Southern charm meets rugged mountain trails and hipster coffee shops. You'll be hard-pressed to find a better spot for an early morning hike followed by craft beer at noon. It's got parks, it's got green spaces galore, but the Blue Ridge Parkway right on its doorstep is amazing. This means you can get stunning views without much work at all. Here you can hike, bike, kayak, fish with minimal effort while looking like you're one with nature. So if you got an Instagram thing and you want to fake people that you're living off the land, this is a great place to do it. You go up there, you take some pictures, you say some stupid stuff like you're one with nature. Then you pack up your stuff, get the feathers and the beads out of your hair, jump back in your Subaru, and head back into town in time to start your shift as a waitress at a local brewery. Yeah, but if outdoor activities gets tiring, you can sit back and enjoy Asheville's nature-inspired craft beers. Yes, really. Nature lovers also appreciate that it's one of the few places where you could spot black bears and artsy murals in a single day. Asheville, in my opinion, is one of the prettiest cities we have, especially if you're a nature lover. A lot of people complain that there's too many of the hippie types there, and, they say it's just a little underdeveloped. I think it's a great town, and it is right there amongst the hills and the nature and all the stuff you want to do. Asheville, North Carolina has around 60 parks with quick access to the Blue Ridge Parkway, which, like I said, that puts them on this list. Number 5, Austin, Texas. Austin's motto is Keep Austin Weird, but with hundreds of parks and outdoor spaces, it's also Keep Austin Outdoorsy. Home to Zilker Park and Lady Bird Lake, you could find Austinites paddleboarding as often as you could find them eating barbecue. Need a lot of barbecue here. Yes, the heat is intense, but that just means you have more excuses to go to Barton Springs Pool. Barton Springs Pool is a recreational outdoor swimming pool in Austin, Texas that is filled entirely by natural springs connected to the Edwards Aquifer. Located in Zilker Park, the pool exists within the channel of Barton Creek and uses water from the main Barton Spring, the 4th largest spring in Texas. It's pretty cool. Hiking and kayaking are big here, and if you're feeling ambitious, you can even try a Texas-style boot camp in the park. Just always make sure you wear sunscreen and bring plenty of water. You'll sweat it out, but the sense of achievement and bragging rights will make it all worth it. And hey, if that doesn't work, there's always live music at the next outdoor festival. Austin has over 300 parks, plus the Texas Hill Country is nearby. Number 4, Denver, Colorado. Denver's outdoor scene is so intense, even the dogs wear hiking boots. I'm not even kidding. I've seen that up close. It's ridiculous. It's a dog. Lady looked at me like I just told her she was ugly. With the Rockies only about an hour away, residents take getting out pretty seriously. You've got more parks than you know what to do with, and when you're not just hanging out in the park, you got rock climbing, mountain biking, and skiing all within reach. The Mile High City has trails for every level, from I think I'll survive to I might need a helicopter type trails. And good luck finding a local who doesn't have an annual pass to a ski resort or two. If you need a break, you've always got the breweries. Just go hit a brewery. Plenty of outdoor seating at most of them. It's Colorado. Colorado is, people move there for the outdoors. It's one of the most moved to states if you like to be outdoors. Denver's their capital city. Denver has over 200 parks with easy access to the Rocky Mountains. That's why they're on this list. Number 3, Seattle, Washington. Yeah, who saw this one coming? Most people just think, craft beer, flannel shirts, and coffee when they think about Seattle. But Seattle's where you can hike, bike, and kayak without leaving the city limits. Yeah, it's a thing. And all the while staying caffeinated, extremely caffeinated by most city standards. With hundreds of parks and the Puget Sound, Seattle is an outdoor enthusiast paradise, if you don't mind the rain. The rain is brutal here, just like Portland. Discovery Park is the crown jewel, offering 534 acres of trails, beaches, and cliffs. Yeah, I mean, you really can't do much with cliffs except, look at them and jump off them. But they're still fun. The Emerald City has mountains, lakes, and forests close by, making it easy to find the wilderness experience without getting into the wild. I mean, if you want the wild, you just walk around the streets of Seattle. You'll find plenty of people camping outdoors on the sidewalks, and they're plenty wild. You can paddleboard, hike through old-growth forests, and try and spot orcas all in one weekend. But be prepared, Seattle's outdoorsy people are hardcore about both their gear and their coffee preference. Seattle has over 485 parks, including the iconic Discovery Park. Number 2, Boulder, Colorado. Welcome to Boulder, where every resident seems to be born with a mountain bike or climbing gear in their hand. Nestled at the foot of the Rockies, Boulder offers endless opportunities for everyone with a tolerance for intense cardio. It's kind of a thing. You gotta have it. It's packed with trails that range from gentle strolls to intense summit climbs. Like the infamous Flatirons, that seems designed to shame people into buying gym memberships. You will be winded. The city is practically an REI catalog come to life. Hiking, rock climbing, mountain biking, trail running, and maybe even some yoga on a paddleboard. It happens there, really. You can really show off your core strength doing that. If you can handle the altitude and the ultra-fit locals, Boulder's a nature lover's paradise. Assuming that you don't mind that, everyone will outrun you. I like Boulder. It's a beautiful city, a lot of really cool breweries. The people are decent, and yeah, that whole outdoor thing and exercise, it's in other cities, but it's just a little bit more, it seems to me. Boulder, Colorado has 45 parks, which isn't a lot, but there's more than 150 miles of trails, and they're right there at the foot of the Rocky Mountains. All right, before we get to number 1, people always ask, well, what about this city? What about that city? So I thought I'd add some that almost made the list. Charleston, South Carolina has about 100 parks with easy access to beaches and tidal rivers. Of course, Bend, Oregon, over 80 parks with the Deschutes River and Mount Bachelor nearby. And of course, Nashville, Tennessee, with over 100 parks and Percy Warner Park. Salt Lake City, Utah, over 80 parks with the Wasatch Range nearby. Now, one real reason they got on this list, it's things that are a little out of the way or a little too far to make them part of the city, but it should be mentioned. Utah has more national parks than should be allowed for one state. These are all well south of Salt Lake City, but people will leave Salt Lake City and go there in one day and spend a weekend there. They're so far away, that's the only reason they didn't make it on the list, the 10. They've got Bryce Canyon National Park, Capitol Reef, they've got Canyonlands National Park, Arches National Park. All of these are insanely beautiful. You should visit them at least once in your life. All right, on to number 1. And number 1, Portland, Oregon. Portland, where people hike in flannel, bike to work in the rain, and can't stop talking about their organic gardens. Yes, Portland is all about outdoors, and that is one of the main reasons people move here, is the outdoors. Portland is an outdoor lover's dream, with Forest Park offering 70 miles of trails that practically beg you to lose yourself. Literally, among the towering Douglas firs, you can get lost in here. Meanwhile, Mount Tabor has great views, and it's an extinct volcano. How many cities can top that? If you're not too busy sipping craft beer or adding extra layers to survive the drizzle, there's plenty to do. You've got kayaking on the Willamette River, cycling loops for every endurance level, and an ocean that's just an hour away. Portland's obsession with sustainability means that you can enjoy all this with minimal guilt. Every latte you sip has already been offset by the city's insane number of trees. If you've never been to Portland and you don't know about it, you're going to hear all the horrible things. That happens down in the city, but wrapped around this city is plenty of things to do. And you got Mount Hood not too far away also. And then most people go down to the Sandy River on really hot summer days, or Sauvie Island. That's normally where I go. Portland, Oregon has 275 parks and natural areas. Like I said, you have access to the Willamette River, Sauvie Island, Sandy River, Mount Hood, and of course the beautiful Oregon coast, about an hour away. All right, that's today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, you'll probably enjoy one of the two videos being shown right now. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.